if you ever had a situation where you want to cut the angle on a brace for a ledge and brace door, such as those over there, well, you might have come across a situation that creates a gappy old joint. Well, I want to show you an easy way how to mark and cut your braces for your ledge and brace doors or gates or shutters, which I have on my bench here, which I'm about to show you. And I'm going to bring you in up close and personal we are. So anyway, before we get on, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. And I hope you're excited about that. So yes, we are going to install the braces on this pair of shutters. And like I say, it's a pair of shutters, so it's two here, it means there's going to be two braces. And what these braces do, they prevent the shutter from sagging. They transfer the load from one point to another, a fixed point. So what we have is these bits of timber here, which are going to be our braces. And these are going to be cut in such a way that will prevent the shutters from sagging. So I'll show you what I mean in the sense of what they're for and how we're going to install them, because one of the hard things is getting this angle correct. It's not that easy. Some people find this really, really difficult. Now, in the previous video, I've actually shown this before, but I've actually got my wood now to carry on with this shutter job, so I thought I'd just record it again. And like I said, I'm doing it live, so it's, there won't be any editing involved. So I'm going to get to it, and hopefully, you'll enjoy and be enlightened about what we're about to do. Oh, well, this is the top of the shutter, and this is the bottom of the shutter. So the way we fit a brace is, we want to transfer the gravity. So if we look at the shutter in the vertical position, here we go, in the vertical position like so, the problem we've got is, I'll tell you what problem we've got, I'm going to have to move that so you can actually see. So you probably do things live like this, you don't actually necessarily have enough room. There you go. So, what we're going to do is, we want to transfer the load of this shutter to a fixed point. So at the moment, this shutter is going to be hung on this side, so the weight and the gravity is going to be forcing down on the opposite side, this side. So what we want to do is transfer this load from this ledge down a brace to the bottom of the shutter here to a fixed point, and that'll prevent the shutter from sagging. So that's the plan, that's what we're going to do. But cutting an angle is not always that easy. I've seen so many people try and do this, and well, to be fair to them, at least they're trying, and sometimes some people are really trying, but in fact I am. And getting that first mark onto a bit of wood that you're going to be using your bit of brace material, such as this piece of wood here, is actually quite tricky if you don't know how to do it. And there's a really easy little thing you can make that will make life a lot easier. Anyway, who we got here anyway? We've got a couple people watching. Hello, Juice, how are you? Oh. Yeah, just two of us. Hello, Simon Says and Gingers. And we'll just record just so I can actually just get a video on. And we're just do it live. And I'm going to bring you up close and personal. Ooh, it's saucy. I'll put you on my little tripod over here, so I can show you close up what I mean. Because it's actually really easy. This is only going to be a shortish stream, and then I'm going to do another one, so I can then title them appropriately. So anyway, okay, this is our ledge. This is going to be the brace. I've already prepared it. I've already cut the arises off. It's 45 degrees there. But we need to cut this angle. The hardest thing is actually working out exactly where you're going to cut it. You could eyeball it. You could look down. Literally look down on it, down here, and almost guess it. Just by eyeing it through. But it's really inaccurate. And if you don't get that right, this end, the other end won't be right either. So you'll end up with a gappy old joint. And that's all very well if you just want to have something to, well, have a product that resembles something that you would get out of a budget DIY store like B&Q or something like that, or Leroy Merlin's en France. But if you want something that's going to be a reasonable joint, well then do it this way. I'm going to show you. It's really, really easy. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use that as my weight, and it's going to hold my brace down into place. So let's put you over here. That's better. So we've got our brace here. We've got our bottom ledge. This one is. This is the fixed point, and we've got a piece of timber. So I'm going to work out exactly where I want it to go. Usually I put them 20mm in from the edge. You don't have to. Whatever you want. You can go to the edge if you want, but I like putting them in about 20mm in on each end. Just doing the other end. You can't see that probably, but I have just done that. And then I have a weight. In this case, I've got a little old 5 kilo anvil, which has actually been getting a bit wet. And that holds that brace down for me. We're going to do this a couple of times just for the purpose of the video. And there's various ways you can mark it. One way, you can use our hacksaw blade. And you can use that hacksaw blade and mark the bottom of your brace, just like that. You'll create a cut mark in the bottom of that brace. Now that's all very well, but I don't like doing it that way. It seems a bit of an arse about face to me. It's just not very good. The other way you can do it is you can get yourself a rule, like such as that one, and eyeball it from above. So you iron up to the edge of this, and iron up to the edge of that on this side, and you can just about that get across like so, then put your line across. Okay, that might be good enough for what you want, but I don't like it because, quite frankly, it isn't very accurate. Because you're like, it depends on what way you're looking at it. You've got to make sure 100% 90 degrees to your shutter itself, or your door, whatever it is going to be. But you need to be able to transfer that mark onto your piece of wood. And it's quite difficult because I've already took the arrows off. Now I've got a 45 degree on here, and a 45 degree on there. So that makes everything that much harder to transfer the marks across. Now, so obviously, yeah, like I say, you could eyeball it. You could use a hacksaw blade and mark from underneath. You could even use a very short pencil and do that from underneath. But then you've got the problem because I've already taken the arrows off. Now, some people I've seen try and do it. They'll mark one end and they get all hunky-dory and try and push it up onto this one and then go and mark the opposite end. Bad idea. It's not going to work because the distance from corner to corner is greater than it is from end to end. And as soon as you put an angle on that, the other end isn't going to be correct. So I make this little bridge marking gauge. It's a very simple little thing. It's a piece of wood propped up by 2 other bits of wood. It's just nailed together. That's all it is. You know, if you could, it's so, yeah, okay, this one I use a lot. I made it a bit better than I would have done if I was on site. If I just needed, for a once-off sort of thing. But it's, the distance here is literally the distance required. So the thickness of the brace and the thickness of the brace and the thickness of the ledge together. And then all I have to do, I just rest it on there like so. And these 2 legs, I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see. There you go. These 2 legs here rest on the ledge. And then this face, bring it over. This face here registers with that face on here. Yeah, so that's going to touch up against that side, and the same on that side. Because of that, what I've done is then, I'm mirroring the register face of the side of the ledge onto the top of my brace, like so. So I know that mark there is exactly in line with, the angle of the side of this ledge. Then I repeat that on the other side. I don't move my brace at this point at all. If you move the brace, you have to start again. And you have to sand off what you've already done, otherwise your marks are going to be a bit confusing. So we've got to do the same on this end. With this brace again, so I just move it up so it touches here, touches there. This brace is exactly the same on both sides. And then I just literally mark it against the brace. And I highly recommend these ox tool mechanical pencils. They are really good. Thank you, Glasgow Kiss. They're really, the lead is dark. Unlike a pencil, which the lead's a bit grey, it's harder to see. So now what we've got to do is we've got to cut it. So we've got 2 marks, one on that end and one on the other end as well. There are various ways you can cut it. If you've got machines, you can use machines. If you haven't got machines, you've got a hand saw. I would say use something like a bench hook, such as this one. And a back saw, ideally. Saying that, you could just use, you know, a panel saw. 7 to 8 TPI panel saw. This is 15 TPI. Was it 12? No, this is 12 TPI. Sorry, this is 12 TPI. 12 tips per inch, or teeth per inch. Which is fine enough to do the job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the longest part of the cut first, and I'm not having to cut the end of the piece of wood with a whole load of material in my way. So first of all, we're going to cut this end. And the other thing is what I make sure I do is, when I'm cutting this, I back cut it slightly. And the reason for that is I want the top edge of the cut to be nice and close to the bit of wood. If it requires a bit of relief to the back edge, so be it. Now you can transfer the marks across, but down this side you're 45 degrees, because you see it's only on the flat. But I'm not going to worry. I'm just using this bench hook so the bit of wood don't slide about, downward pressure. So it's going to, I start thinking, so I'll get my cut started at 90 degrees, perpendicular to the piece of wood. Cut the back strokes first. This all really requires a sharpening, which will be another video, I reckon. And then we gently cut along there like so. Let's bring it nice and close so you can see. Hopefully the camera won't fall over. There you go. I'm starting off 90 degrees, and I'm going to bring it back just a fraction, couple of degrees, to back cut it slightly. So the top edge ends up being a close fit. You can do this with a machine like a radial arm saw or a chop saw, but each angle is going to be different. It's a lot of faff. By the time you've done all that, you might as well just cut it by hand with a hand saw. Same on the other side. So obviously I'm not doing it, you know, if you were to cut off 90 degrees, you'd be pushing right against your fence like that, then be cutting at 90 degrees against here, but because it's an angle, I'm just holding it. It's enough. So I start the saw off just on the line, on the waist side of the line. Just trying to remove the line basically a little bit. So I don't make otherwise if I make it too short, it'll end up being a different angle. If I make it too long, it'll end up being a different angle. It might be the same angle on the ends, but because you lengthened your bit of timber, it's be sitting at a different angle between the two ledges. Which it just wouldn't do. No. So by the time I've done all that faff, setting the saw up, power saw, I've done the cut, it's done, it's finished. So all I need to do now is just double check everything's hunky-dory, and if it's not, I might have to tweak it, but we'll see. Before I show you though, I'm going to make sure it's okay. No, I don't need to, because it's perfect. You can see that if I show you, okay, there we go. Way, you nearly went, but there you go. You see there, the angle there, it sits there nice and neatly, so. And that is plenty good enough. And if I show you the other end, it's doing exactly the same. It's nice and, it's a nice, neat cut. And it's all because I managed to transfer the mark, so transfer this face onto the top of this brace using this very, very, very simple marking gauge. Such an easy sort of thing to make. How basic is that? It's 2 little bits of wood. That's all it is. Prop up another bit of wood. So it's 3 bits of wood in total. So it works. And also what you can do is what I quite often do from when I get into the swing of things, I use this as my measure to the end of the brace, or the end of the ledge, sorry. So I prop it up against the end of the ledge like so it's flush on the end here. And then I push that up against it. And then I've got my distance. So it kills two birds with one stone. Then I make my mark, and then we move on to the cut. And then we move on to installing the brace, which I'm about to do as well. Might as well, so, you know. And then we'll do another one. So here we are. We have our brace. First of all, I'm going to put a bit of glue on it. It's not a very nice bit of wood, actually. It's got a bit of piff in the back here, look. Isn't very good. But it doesn't matter, it's in the back of the piece of wood. You can see it. The face of it's okay. And I use my roller, which I've shown you before, but this is a wallpaper roller for doing the seams on your wallpaper. And all I've done is put a bit of, you know, in this case, blue insulation tape. And then when the glue builds up, well, I know over a period of time it gets hard. I just either tap it and something just breaks off, and I ain't got to do anything more than that. It comes off the insulation tape. Or I can just peel off the tape and put another bit on, which works really well as well. Really well as well, it does. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you're already here. If you want to watch any more videos and get notified, do the little arbogast, you know, the little bell icon. Dun, 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 dun. I hope the sound is okay. I'm using my radio mic, but sometimes it can get interference. It should be okay. As you see, that works really well. So I'm just literally rolling it out there so it's got a nice even coat. Also seals the back of the brace end as well. So you won't get so much water ingress behind you. See, if the water gets behind it, it doesn't rot the bit of wood so quickly. Because eventually, like anything made out of wood, eventually it's going to decay, isn't it? It's about how long can you prevent that from happening. You know, for how long can you prevent that from happening? So now when I nail this, these nails are a little bit on the long side. So what I tend to do is I tend to put it at a slight angle, but also I need to put some nails out. That'll help. So put one in there like so. Making sure I'm hard at one end. I am. When you put them at an angle, one way, that way, and that way, it creates like a dovetail. So that one's fixed. Simple as that. So this shutter now is ready. So we can move on to the next one, which they're a pair, so they're both the same. Like I said, it's going to be a short live stream because I'm doing this as if it's going to be a video on the channel, and I will probably then start another one. Do another live stream as well. So that one's done. I'm happy with that. That's on there. It's fixed nicely. Let the glue go off. I'll make sure I put the shutter over here. Make sure it's the right way round. That'll help me make sure that the next brace on the opposite shutter is going to be the right way round, which would be a really good idea. Hello, 7 people. We've got 7 people watching. Who have we got here? Hello, Sophie. Oh, we've got a bot comment. Gingers, Ivan. Oh no, there's no bot comment. Peter, hello there. How are you? And Peter. Yeah, just yeah, the 20mm on there, Peter, is basically so if you want to trim the shutters in situ, you're not cutting through your braces. Sorry, cutting through your ledges, because that is really annoying. Just stripping 2 vacuums for copper. Okay, Simon says. Blimey. Oh, the last time I'd done stripping for copper for scrap value, it was a long time ago. When I was doing a lot of electrical work, I sliced my hand open. I was doing SWA cable. Or was it STI? Yeah, anyway, I think it was STI. Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, I slipped and you might be able to see it. The scar's still there. There's a scar. And you can see that running across here. With a Stanley knife. That wasn't a good idea. I felt rather silly. Right, so we've got another brace to go on. And this one's got to go in the opposite direction of the other. Now, because I've got a shitty bit that nastiness, I've got to choose a different bit of wood for that. And what I'll do is I'll use this on one of my shorter shutters and then be selective. So that horrible bit of wood there doesn't end up on the shutter. That ends up somewhere else in the bin. Or on a project where it doesn't matter. I hate waste. Don't like waste. We'll grab another. Let's come over here to grab another bit of brace. That's good. That's a better one. Right, so we're going to do the same again. The other way around. That's the better end. It's really hard getting timber at the moment. Partly because of the pandemic. Well, here it's definitely because of the pandemic. And the fact that there's a lot of building going on now, and like China and America, places like that, they're all buying up all the timber. So I'm doing the same again. I'm literally just put my weight on there, like so, just to hold it in place. It doesn't move. Now I've just got to transfer my marks from the perpendicular face of the ledge onto the top of the brace, and then I'm going to do the same on this side, like I did a moment ago. For those of you who didn't see the beginning. And it should be hunky-dory. The last one worked out very nicely, so I'm quite pleased about that. Love it when a plan comes together. Right, so I then place this against the perpendicular face. I use my pencil, like so. This has got a lump on there, got a lump of glue on it, so we ought to take it off really. Doesn't matter, it'll be right. And then I'll do the same on the other end. So we'll do the same over here. So when you get in the swing of things, you get them sort of in the motions, it's really quite quick. And then I'm going to use. I use hand tools whenever I can. Whenever it's practical to use a hand tool, I'll use a hand tool. If I'm doing a lot of repeated work, it's worthwhile setting the machine up and allowing the machine to do the work for you. But when you've only got, a few cuts, and every cut is different, because it depends on the length of the shutter, will depend on the angle here. See, there's another way you can actually do this, which I'll show you why. We'll do that. You can do it this way. I would say it's not, I don't think it's good. It's not as quick for a start, and also there's room for error. You can use a bevel like this. Yeah? So this is a bevel, and you can tighten up here, and you can set this angle to whatever angle you want it to be. So like for instance, I can have this piece of wood on here like so. I'll put it back on like that sort of thing. So I'll put my little weight back on here, and I can then set this at whatever angle this ledges, if you see, to the edge of the actual shutter itself. Then I'll tighten it up, and then I can transfer that angle. I just did that wrong. I better fool myself. You put it on the edge of your brace like so. Put the fool. Like that. Like that. This is a faff. It's a bit of a faff. A little bit so it doesn't slip so much. And because the arrows is removed, you've got this 45 on there, this chamfer cut. You haven't got nothing up top here for the rest against. It has to be down the bottom. So you have to do it at an angle. Although it does work, you can do it this way. You've got to make sure nothing moves while you tighten everything up. And then you can transfer your mark onto there like so. And then make your cut. I don't like that way. I hadn't had as much success using a bevel as I have with my marking gauge, which is that little wooden marking gauge, because it works and it's simple, and that's why it works. So that's what we're using. That's the way I'm going to, carry on for the time being anyway. While it works for me, that's how I'm going to carry on doing that cut. It's a bit too hard. It's not the ideal, that isn't. Let's put this over here instead. That's better. So bring it back over half. So yet again, we're going to be using the back saw. In this case, that's like a tenon saw. Now some tenon saws have a much deeper blade because you've got the the tenons on a tenon, like a mortise and tenon joint. Some tenons can be quite deep, so you can buy saws like this, but much, much deeper. But I don't need that, no. So that's why I ain't got one. It has no purpose for me. So now we're going to make our back cut, make our angular cut. Be on this side of the line again. I'll make a couple of back cuts first, like so, to get my start. And these are hand sharpened saws, so I sharpen these saws. This one really needs to be done. That'll be another video. But normally what you do is, you see, these first few teeth, you make them less aggressive than these ones. The idea being is that you can then start on the top here, and then you can start bringing your saw right in, like so. Bring it a bit more. So like I say, I'm back cutting slightly. What I mean by that is the angle of this saw is not 90 degrees to this piece of wood. I've actually cut it so it's a slight angle. So when this face on this piece of wood goes against the brace, the back edge, the bottom, is not going to manipulate the joint. It won't get in the way, basically. There'll be a slight gap there. Very fraction of a gap. Which is fine. This makes the top edge can be a much neater connection than the bottom, but you won't see the bottom, you see. It doesn't matter so much. You do the same when you do skirting board cuts or anything like that, you're always back cut. Now, I think I'll do a video at some point actually installing skirting boards. There is actually one on my channel already. But it isn't a great quality video, but it does actually show you how to do it, because a lot of people, they get their miter saws, their box saws, miter saws, and they make all their 45 degrees on all their corners, internal corners, external corners. But no, that's not what you do. You only use the 45 to cut your external skirting board corner. Your joint on the skirting board. Only 45 on the external. Your internals, where you've got two corners coming in to the inside of your wall, those you scribe. So you always, basically, you're cutting over the piece of wood that's going to be joined to. There's a good reason for that. There's no room is at 90 degrees. I might say it is, but the likelihood is it's not. And because of that, your joints in the corner, well, if you try not to do a 45 degree in an internal corner, it'll be gappy. And what happens is you're looking down that gap, because it looks ugly. I don't know, you get a load of decorator's coke and you chuck it all in a hole, and it's all hunky-dory then, isn't it? Not. Because your building is always moving, and that joint is always going to be... Oh, there goes my compressor. That joint will always be opening up, because your building's moving. So it just looks nasty. See, 100%. So it's twice now we've done this now, and it's perfect. Yeah, again, there you go. See? Perfect joint. You can't get much better than that. That's perfect. And that's done, cut by hand, just using that marking gauge. No low angle block planes required or anything. It's just done. It works perfectly well. So let's move that. Tripod will fall over all the while. So now we're going to glue this one into place, then I'll have a look at the chat. No rubbish underneath it. Grab the glue, which is over here. And this is Cascamite powdered resin wood glue. It's a water activated or moisture activated glue. It starts life as a powder, and you mix it into this glue. Now, if you do decide you want to go for the Cascamite direction, you want to buy Cascamite. Don't get Cascamite, which is made by Polyvine. It's gone really downhill. And that's what this is. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be. In the UK, there's a company called gluesdirect.co.uk, and they've got their own recipe. And theirs is actually like the old Cascamite. It's actually very good stuff. And if you contact them, they will actually send you out a sample pack, so you can actually give it a go. Not to France though. I imagine there's a load more new rules regarding that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same as we did a minute ago. Over here. And we're going to literally just nail that into place. The glue is what's going to do the real job, you know what I mean? So make sure this is nailed. So we grab the nail gun. Like that. We're going to nail it down to place. That end, and then we tighten this end. Hunky dory, done. So that is how I do my cuts for my ledge and brace shutters. The same applies whether it's a ledge and brace door or a gate or anything like that, you know, and just spending a little bit of time making that gauge just saves an awful lot of hassle and heartache later, because I've seen it so many times for, oh, my cut is terrible, I've got to cut it again, I've got to cut it again, I've got to cut it again. So all you need is that. And you can make it out of the same material that you actually made your shutter from, or your door from, or your gate from. It's the same difference. It's as simple as that. You can't get any simpler than that, can you, really? And this distance here, I make these basically the same distance or same depth as my ledge and my brace together. So when it's bridging over the top of the two pieces of wood, so when it's like this, like that, these little legs then are just sitting on here nice and comfortably with a little bit of clearance under the edge. And then I've got enough room there to just run my pencil along, and that transfers the mark. It just works. It's really simple. So anyway, before I go, like I say, this is just a quick video, and I will be going online again today. Because I just want to do it live for the purpose of getting another video onto the site. So if you want to come back again, I will be going live again shortly. Hello, Sophie. Look at your fab workshop. Oh, thank you, Sophie. We wanted to emigrate to France, so we could buy something similar. Yeah, there's a lot of properties there that requires, you know, renovation properties. This place was in hell of a state. Actually, I got some photographs I should show you, really. I can't at the moment, but I'll make sure I've got them in there for the next video. Scars every week, yeah, especially with the engines. Yeah, slipping with spanners on ringed off nuts, I bet, if you're working on engines, especially in the cold. Sophie says, afternoon, Mark, good afternoon to you and everybody. All these tips and tricks of the trade are fab. Thank you, very kind of you. I'll make an ledge and brace doors to replace the horrible ones in the cottage. Yeah, do it, go for it. There's a really simple way of doing it. Just make yourself one of those. And everyone's different for however thick your edges are going to be and your braces are going to be, but they just work. Just such a simple little tool. And it's not really a trick of the trade. This is something I came up with because I'm making so many shutters for customers like these, and it's always a bane in my life. I was always just sort of eyeballing that down. I thought, I wonder. Then it just clicked. I thought, yeah, that. And, you know, and I've used it ever since because it works. It's so simple. They say the simple ideas are the best. That's why I'm great. I must be simple. It's been said before. Yeah, that's right, Bernard, don't it, buddy? Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes the simple ideas are the best. And if they work, that's the thing, isn't it? If they work and they do the job, it's all about it. And you haven't got to spend money on it. It's so easy to go out there and just buy stuff to do certain things, isn't it? Take care, just being videos, to do a particular job, and you find yourself, well, why I should just made that. That took me seconds to make that. You know? Sometimes it's just having the ideas, and that's why I'm trying to share with people. It's my ideas and stuff that I've done. Do you realise I've got 3 bot comments already? That's nuts. They follow me, they do. Yep. So that's the thing about this kind of work. You do tend to hurt yourself. You know, no matter how careful you are. The thing I am. Oh, Ian skiving. He's skiving from all shorts. Yeah, I've been hit again by the blooming algorithm on all shorts. Yeah, for the last 4 days, I think it is. My views have gone down. I had a really good run for a couple of weeks after my bad run over the last 2 months, and then I thought, oh, it's all turned the corner, and now it's really bad again. So I actually think it's to do with Ukraine. I think it's swamped the internet, swamped YouTube with it, and only the older channels get a look in. Give you the idea, my other channel, normally when I'm doing okay, you usually get around 800 to 1,000 views in the first hour, and now I'm lucky to get 150 to 200 in the first hour. It just plummets, just nuts really. And that's the problem with trending content as well, and also with that kind of trending content, like news related content. The problem with it is you tend to it has no longevity. So if you don't make your views early on, you never will, and you put all the work and effort into it, and nothing happens. So it's totally different. Obviously, everything I put on here is generally evergreen. Anyway, I've done that one. I've showed you how to do it using the brace. Because knowing me, I'll just talk, and the video will be ridiculously long. And it's literally, this is what I wanted to show: how to put a brace on a shutter, like that one over there. Yeah, and how to do that cut with that angle. And it works. Anyway, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. So anyway, I will be going live again soon. Today. Ta-ta.